Hey yo, we're back. We're back. Yeah. Just like with my previous stream, I don't really have much to talk about. See, this is the funny thing about these drawing streams as opposed to like the gaming streams, quote unquote. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That's the difference between these two. Is that these drawing streams, it's pretty much it's pretty much what the title says. It's just drawing. As opposed to like the Genshin streams where, you know, there's like story tied to it, so I can like ramble about the story and what's up, what's going on with that. Here it's just kind of like, oh no, I'm just drawing. So yeah, as always with these drawing streams, we're here to chill, we're here to vibe, as always. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're here to chill and we're here to vibe. I mean, we're always here to vibe, even with the Genshin streams, with the game streams, we're always vibing. But with the drawing streams, it's a little bit more chill, you know, because I'm not trying to focus on lore and story and character. Here, we're just doodling. Alright, so might as well just go to the scary infinite void, pop up the drawing. So this is what we completed with our last stream. I'm honestly surprised that I even made it to the flat color stage. I was kind of thinking we probably wouldn't get there, honestly. So I'm pretty happy that we already did. So that's pretty cool. So the rest is pretty much just rendering, I guess. So here we got my boy, my son. Obsidian Universe says hello, hi, welcome. My boy, my son, Arthur. And this is supposed to be like a portrait behind him. His uncle, not his dad. It's his uncle, because his dad sucks. Okay, so yeah, might as well just go ahead and start with him. Yeah, just gonna go ahead and start with this guy. I think, yeah, I definitely need to make a layer for the background. Let me go with because I kind of want the general color scheme of this piece to be like a blue, and then it could contrast with like a yellow light. So I'm going with like a bluish color. This is going to be like a white background though. Maybe not too white, like not pure white, so it doesn't hurt my eyes. Yeah, actually, I like that. I think that looks good. That looks good, I think. Yes. Okay. And the reason why is because a little fun fact for you people. If you're, I don't know, also like watching the VOD as well after this comes out. So, contrary to popular belief, castles, specifically castles in Europe, were not just gray. Demon FD says, how are you, Pepper? I am doing pretty well, honestly. Yeah, unfortunately this stream had to be a little late. Oh man, I should have said that earlier, that the stream was pretty late, and I'm really sorry about that. The reason why is because, I am a human, and I now have some responsibilities with my family, and, basically, I have to pick up my brother from school. So, that's what's up. So, and it just so happened to be around this time. But it's not that much that I had to miss the entire stream. It's just a bit inconvenient, but again, we're here to chill. We're here to vibe. Where's the music shut off? Stop shutting off. This is not why I got this Opera GX thing, and it decided to die on me. Okay, awesome. The whole reason I got this Opera GX so that is because it was easier or whatever. Yeah. Demon FD says, what did I miss? I was late for the live show. Not much. We just finished the sketching, well, with the previous stream. Finished the sketching, finished the line art, also the flat colors. Yeah, this is not fan art, by the way. This is, like, my own personal work, which is a adaptation of the King Arthur legend. Yeah. Oh yeah, but what I was talking about with, like, a whitish background, so contrary to popular belief with, castles back in Europe, a lot of people think that they were all just, like, gray because they were made out of stone, and yes, they were made out of stone, but they weren't completely gray, because that's just boring, and that's just sad, and kings were rich. Why would they keep their castles boring and sad? And so the insides were actually painted very decoratively. But the main color they used was white because they covered up the stone walls with plaster. Because plaster is surprisingly ancient. They would cover it with plaster, and plaster is mostly white. And on top of the plaster, they would, paint the walls and stuff like that. They didn't so much as hung paintings. That wasn't really, like, a thing back then yet. If you wanted paintings on the walls, they literally painted on the walls. Okay. But getting too deep into the historicalness, I'm just gonna call this wall for my ease of mind. Whoops, that's just wow. There we go. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do, maybe I should set the light source early on. So, because I kind of want the window to kind of be here. Or maybe like a little bit down here. Well, feasibly, actually, the window could possibly be even here, actually. With the light source moving like this towards him. And I'm not going to focus on the light source on this, because this is a portrait, it's a painting, and so obviously there is no 3D shape, it's a flat image. If anything, the light from here would kind of be more like this, I guess. But, yeah. Obsidian Aurora says, now that's a funny image. You see a king sitting on a throne or something, hold up, I'm trying to read it. Sitting on a throne or something with some painters using it for reference for a literal wall painting. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what they did. They painted on the walls. And Opera GX doesn't want to work. It's not like this is the entire reason why— oh god, that's not what I wanted. It's not like that was the entire reason why I got it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna remove Ambrose and the wall, and just gonna start focusing on Artie for here from now on. Okay. This is gonna be a shadow. And feasibly— okay, actually, no, okay, before that, I do want to add some— so this is a thing I tend to do with most of my serious, I guess, illustrations, but I need a lighter brush. Something a bit lighter. Lower the opacity a bit. This is a thing I've been doing with some of my serious work where I slather on a bit of, trying to just get a bit of this. Because I forgot what it's called. It's a thing to do with light and how light functions. Like, light functions in very interesting ways. And of course, a very similar thing with the hair and the gold. The hair and the gold here. And a little bit of the gold in this area. Yeah, that's good. Bit of the brown for the tunic. Bit of blue on the belt. Okay, and for here, for the outside, I'm gonna put like a cyan, I guess. Okay, and for the other side, I think I'm gonna put like a bit of a brownish, because it would be reflecting the floors, which I imagine he's like on a top floor, so definitely so it would be made of wood. Okay. So with this, I'm just gonna lower the opacity. It's gonna be like barely visible, barely visible. It's just a very, it's normally a thing that like you're not really supposed to see like immediately. But it does make like all the difference once you actually I'm just looking at everything. Or do I put an overlay on it? I think I might have to put an overlay. Yeah. A light accent, somewhat. It's somewhat like that. Or is it not overlay? I could have sworn it was overlay. Or maybe, you know what, maybe I'll do that later, actually. I don't know, I feel like I'm doing something wrong there. I can't help but feel like that. Okay. I'm just gonna go back into this. Alright, I'm gonna add some blush on him. A little bit of this. Okay. And this obviously is going to be toned down a lot, because this is just to be like, hey, he has do I do this? Or would that make him look too pretty looking? I don't know. Maybe? What do I have planned for October? So for October, I think is where I want to post my part 2 of my epic review. And yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. Like in terms of this channel, I guess that's it. Just pretty much like try to finish up the part 2 of my epic review. Yeah. Because it has been oh so long. It's been neglected for oh so long. Okay, got that part of that part, and actually let me. There we go. And for this. Sorry, I'm just like looking at just looking at it for a little bit more. Oh well, alright. There's something about hair. Something about hair. Ah, now I remember. I was like, there was something about hair that was missing. I forgot what it was. Now I remember, I remember. This thing here that people tend to add on the top of, not the top, but they tend to add in hair because it's supposed to give off this like illusion that the hair is like thinner around these areas. Just remove this part here because it looks odd. The hair is supposed to be thinner around these areas. But again, like lower things just enough so it's not like obvious. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna name these. Blush. And shoot, I don't know, skin question mark? I don't know. I don't know what this would be called. It's kind of like a skin type thing. Okay. Okay, now I think I can actually like do the shadows. The real shadows. Okay, okay. So the color of the shadows, I think I'm gonna make it, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I kind of want it to be like a blue. I want most of this piece to have kind of like a blue-ish vibe. Yeah, I want most of it to have kind of like a bluish vibe, but so it could like contrast with like a bit of a yellow glow. Look pretty, look nice. So let me just grab a nice blue, I guess. Yeah, that works. I'll just immediately put this on a multiply. Just so that is not on a multiply. There's some lag, hold up. Yeah, there's some lag. Okay. Just so I immediately get a nice look at things. So with here, I think I'm instantly... Okay, it's probably a little too big. And I guess like this portion of the ear could be relatively safe. So it's this whole part. This whole part of the face could be covered. And this whole part here. Yeah. As for yeah, this part of the hair. Yeah, something like this. Let me just move it over here. For the diadem, definitely a bit of a shadow here. Like a shadow down here. I gotta start the shadow at the back of the hair around here. And here it'd be pretty neat if there was like a bit of a little break in the shadow. Zoom in a bit closer. Whoa. Can I turn this a bit more into a point, please? I want this to be a bit more of a point. Okay. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Obsidian Aurora says, since you know a lot more about Genshin Impact than I do, what do you think the characters of Genshin Impact would do if they met in Helldiver? I know absolutely nothing about Helldiver, so I am not the person to say that. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this here to indicate that this is in shadow. And for the diadem... yeah. Or, maybe more like this. Yeah, okay. Alright. And as for this part of the hair, actually I think I might leave that part be. I might just leave that part be and mess with it in the rendering stage. This part obviously is going to be shaded. As for this part of the collar in the cloak, yeah, I'm just gonna fill it out here. Okay. So I got like the basic thing for the face. I think we're just gonna add a bit more of a curve on this part of the hair. Okay. All right. Just looking it over again. Now for this section. Yeah, I'm gonna be avoiding the cloak for a hot second. Let me just avoid it for a wee bit. I think this one would already be in the light, actually. Yeah. Okay. I got that. As for these parts, whoops. Okay. And these can be connected. Okay. Okay. I think that's what I got for the basic shading. So, might as well go ahead and fill it out. Zevon says, "Hey Pepper, hey, welcome to the stream. We're just chilling here. We're drawing and chilling. How have I been? I've been doing pretty good." Okay. All right. Got the... Okay, face part done. Let's fill out the cloak. Whoops. Okay. I think I might fill out this part down here. Okay. Alright, I think this is, yeah. Oh, I forgot this little part here, and then after that, I think I'm done with the general shading part. This is a lot simpler than I thought it would be. I was expecting this to be a bit, more difficult, but... See, that's why, kids, it's easy to work with one light source. It's easy to work with one, because then you're not suffering as much. And also bigger shadows. If I were to give some advice with shading, I'm not saying that I'm the best shader in the world, obviously, but just stuff that has helped me with my shading. Of course, a big part of it has to do with style, obviously. But at least with like the styles that I'm going for, which is a much more like cartoony-ish, well, not cartoony, like anime adjacent style. Big shadows, massive help. Like, instead of focusing on every individual shadow on every hair strand, just think of like think about the shadows in a big sense. And it helps so much. It's so much, honestly. Because, like, you kind of notice that in real life, actually. Real life is full of bigger shadows. It's actually not all of these tiny individual ones. You notice it if you start copying real life pictures, especially with objects. You know, you shade in, for instance, like cups, for example. Like, the shadow is very simple. It's very, and that's it. I think that's something that's definitely helped me out a little bit. Okay. It's already in a multiply, so I'm just gonna lower it a wee bit. I don't know if I want to keep it at 50. We're gonna see, I need to rename this. Shad. Maybe not 50. I want the shadows to be a lot harsher. My default is 50 because it's like a good blend, but because I want these shadows to be a bit more harsher, I think I'm gonna like lift it up to maybe 60. Yeah, okay, I think 60 looks good for now. Okay. Leave that there, and... okay, leave that there. And, usually with the shadows, because the blue contrasts, or doesn't really look the best on the face, one thing that I've started to do as well is grab, like, an orange. Well, more like orange leaning into red. And then do something like this on top. So there's like a bit more of a transition. And put that in an overlay. Where's the overlay? Lower the opacity just a little bit. And it offers like a much easier transition, I guess. I'll just like blend it out a wee bit. Okay. Zevon says, I'm gonna go back to school soon, so I won't be able to watch your live streams for a while. Oh, that sucks. Well, you know, go to school, get your education. To quote Hamilton, get your education, don't forget from whence you came, and the world's gonna know your name. Alright. I think I'm gonna erase the little thing on the nose. I think it looks a lot. Okay. So yeah, so there's like a bit of a better transition there, between the shadows, and actually I think I'm going to just straight up, shade in the entire ear, because I think it's just, again, bigger shadows. Think big, think big. Okay. Alright. So now we have that down. Yeah, now that we have that down, okay, this is gonna sound so weird, even though, it's already been shaded. Even though it's already been shaded, I am going to add a... Whoops. Even though it's already been shaded, I am going to add a multiply layer on top of everything. Just trust the process. Just hear me out, okay? Add a layer on top of everything. Ooh, okay, that actually looks pretty good. Add a layer on top of everything. What is this? 39? Okay, we're gonna put that at 40 just for my peace of mind. Ooh, okay. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. So it's around here where I put, ooh, almost blew the mic there. So it's around here where I will put the lighting effects. So, this one, I don't know what I was gonna call it. I guess I'll just pat it, I think I'll put it shad over. Or overshad. Like a shadow that covers everything. I'm gonna call it overshad. As for this, I think it's called subsurface scattering, so it's just gonna be SSS. Here we are again. Yep. Back to drawing. Trying to finish this work. Okay. So I put this on top, and this is where I'm gonna put the actual, like, lighting stuff on top. Little He looks like Archie minus his staff. The first thing I thought of was the Archie comics, and I am very sure that's not what you're talking about. Okay. So for the lighting, obviously, it's going to be a completely different color. It's going to be like a yellow. Still want to keep it like a little bit of the orange in there. Okay. Dylan says, "Hey Mint, how are you doing today? I am doing pretty good. We're back to drawing, wanting to see if I can finish this piece in the stream. That would be really cool if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I really hope to, because this was supposed to be a bit of a simple drawing, a bit of a simpler drawing for us to work on." Here. Or I think that would look weird. No, just a straight. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay. And of course the little light on his face. Maybe a little bit of light here on like his neck, and definitely a little bit on his side locks. Is that what? Yeah, that's what I'll call them. Okay. Obviously on the hair. And keep doing here on this hair. I don't want to overdo it too much, because one thing I definitely struggle with a lot, and I will imagine that a lot of you people struggle with, I still struggle with it, it's the overdoing of, well, shading and lighting, both of them. It's the overdoing. It's definitely a balance. I think with shading, it's a lot easier to not overdo it, because shadows are just so, I guess, like, important, I guess, with lighting. I'd argue shadows are the most important thing when it comes to lighting. Shadows is lighting when you really think about it. But the highlights, I think that's definitely a harder thing to do well, so to say. And actually, I just realized, maybe, now that I'm actually talking about this, I think I'm just gonna remove the lighting from the metals, because metals just naturally shine so much more stronger. It would be a bit different. So, but especially when it comes to highlights, I definitely think like it's really easy to overdo it, over highlight. When one thing you have to think about is, ironically, this is really ironic when it comes to lighting, but like, you show more lighting through the shadows than you do with the actual light itself, if that makes any sort of sense whatsoever. But I feel like it does. Like, you can show great lighting without highlights, I think. Highlights just kind of accentuate it a little bit more. So, like, I think, like, for these parts right here, I think for the cloaks, I don't know. like, I don't feel like I want to put as much highlights as I would. Restraint. Have a bit of restraint, I guess. And it's hard. It's hard to know, like, when is a good time for... What's a good time to have lighting? What's a good time to not? It's something I also struggle with as well. Okay. As... I'm gonna fix this one here. I don't like how it looks. Again, I think that was an example of me overdoing it. I think just like a simple stroke is enough. Okay. And this section as well. One stroke, I think, is all that you need. Alright. As for the cloak, the cloak's a bit of a harder one. I'm not sure exactly how much I want to do on the cloak, I'll be completely honest. I think I'll just, like, follow the basic flow. But, again, I do want to keep a bit of that restraint. Maybe this could go over here. Like that, maybe. Okay. Yeah, but I don't want to... I really do not want to overdo it. Maybe just, like, a little bit, like, here. Okay. I think that's all I'll do for this. I'm just gonna call it light, because it's just easy. And for this... I used to do just add. I used to just immediately do add. I don't do add anymore. I either do soft light or overlay now. I think... Oh, God. Overlay looks really good. I'm gonna go with overlay for now. But the problem is that the light on the face is too much. Like, the light on the hair... There's lag. The light on the hair, I think, looks really good. On the cloak, it's a bit harsh, but it's fine. But it's just too bright on the face. I don't like how that looks. I could just lower it. I'll lower it and see how it goes. Yeah. Purple Scarf Cake says, hi, welcome to the stream. But it's not really bright. Or I could just go with soft light. I just kind of like how the overlay looks. I really like how the overlay looks. But I fear it's... not what I'm going for. I'll keep the soft light for now. Maybe tone it down, maybe like a 70. Okay, I'll keep it there. Okay, I just realized, because I want to add a little shine on the eyes, but I forgot a little part. So, be warned. We're gonna... Okay, we didn't have to remove all of that. We're just gonna go back to color. I just need to remove, like, the big important stuff, just so... This part, and then... Yeah, that's fine. Let's get the other brush. Alright. Okay, you can have everything back. Alright. And now that I think about it, maybe I can put the... Wow, okay, you're just gonna disappear on me? Now that I think about it, I think I can put... How would that look? Oh cool, you can barely see it, yeah. You can barely see it on the metal, which is probably gonna be a bit of a problem for me. Just gonna call this light metal. Whoa. These are already way too much layers. See, usually when everything is like evenly lit, I don't even bother with, when things are evenly lit, I don't even bother, trying to highlight anything like hair or anything like that, but because this does take place like this is supposed to be like in the dark kind of thing, I do kind of have to highlight certain things. Or maybe I just thought of something. Or maybe I do keep it all in overlay, actually. See, that's the funny thing about drawing. You never really know what you're doing. Okay. Maybe overlay is the better option, the more I think about it. Just gonna connect these and... What the hell? What happened there? You're normal? You're also normal. Why do you look so weird? Oh, okay. That's why. Actually, no, keep it like this. Borderline white. I think that's... I think that's for the best. I think I'll just have to as the old masters say, trust the process with this one. I'll just have to, like, trust that it doesn't look bad. I think I'm on that part. Okay. And oh, whoa, that looks weird. I think I've done what I needed to do for this just like general stage, I guess. Yeah. I'm not really sure what else I can do here. I think the shadow might be a bit harsher than I want it to be. So, screw it, maybe I will just keep it at 50. Yeah, okay. I think I'll keep it like that for now. Unless I change my mind, but... Oh, no. Alright. Keep it there, yeah. Actually, there's something that's been bugging me. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. That's been bugging me literally this entire stream. Alright, bring back the shadow. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna keep that there. As for... this portrait. For this portrait, I'm just gonna keep a little overlay thingy here. For this portrait here, I think we're gonna move this wall, because this technically would be considered a background. I'm gonna move this wall down here, and I think I'm trying to think of like a background for this portrait. I think it would be cool if it was also like a blue. Yeah. Whoops. You just bring back the general sketch. And underneath, have this. And because I have an idea for this. But it all depends whether or not I can execute the idea. And I am currently struggling to draw straight lines. Okay. Actually, maybe this wall texture. I say as if it's... Actually, no, bring it back. Okay, bring back the colors. Okay, so for this... This is where it gets a wee bit hard for me, right? Because they had shading, but it was very, very blended shading. How you say. People back then shaded in the same way 12-year-olds on the internet shade nowadays. Where it's basically like overshaded, over blending. I guess that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna try not to... It's not gonna be very dark. Because they didn't shade that dark back then. They really didn't. So I'm just gonna my brush. And yeah, I'm going to shade like how you render. Because I want it to kind of have a bit of that vague, authentic feel. Maybe we can... I wanted to still be, like, visible. Like, there is a level of shading, it's just not, that much. Okay. What's up for the skin? For the hair? And yes, I'm gonna blend all of this afterwards. this would be on top. Okay. And the red cloak. That's a good color. It's a very good color, actually. Oh, did the music end? I think it might have ended. Almost, almost. Okay, and then his clothes. Hey, yo, where's the music? Let's start from the start then. As for the gold, it's gonna be straight up, like, highlights. All right. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. I think that's all of the shading I'm going to put for this. And, well, shading in quotation marks. Oh yeah, how could I forget the blend? I don't know if I want to blend it though. I kind of like how it looks, low-key. I really like how it looks, and I think if it's blended, it just looks ugly. Okay, it's not that bad. What if I duplicate it? Let me duplicate it just so that it doesn't hurt as much. That's what I'm gonna do. Because this would probably look cooler, I guess, if it was like a sketch in a manuscript, because then I could do like some really cool hatching and some really cool like details with like inking and stuff. Unfortunately, like this is supposed to be like a portrait, so they didn't do any of that cool hatching in portraits. I just suffer. Okay, it's not that bad. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to turn out. It just hurts me just a little bit. It just hurts me a wee bit. Okay. For the line art, because the line art is black, it ain't gonna be black. It's going to be more like a brownish color, and I still want it to look faded. Because the thing with this painting is that, with this portrait, is that it's kind of old. Well, that's the idea in my head for like the canon of the piece. Is it's a little bit old, so it's going to look a little bit faded, which is why all of the colors are a little bit dulled. Well, they're supposed to be dulled. It's a little bit faded, and it's a little bit dull. And I also do want to put, like, on top some, like, signs of, like, wear and tear, maybe a little bit of scratches here and there, just to show that this is kind of an old, well, not old, like, it's not that old, but it's a painting that hasn't been properly taken care of. Maybe some chipping here and there would be pretty cool. Yeah. So, yeah, with the line art, because they did do line art for the painting, but obviously it was mostly buried under everything. However, you wouldn't be... I do need the line art, as you can tell. I do need a little bit of the line art. So, trying to find, like, a good... Just look at it, okay. Okay, this ain't bad. I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker. Ooh, okay. I like this. I do like how this looks. This looks really good and it blends in. Actually, yeah, I'll keep it that way. That looks really good. I really like how that looks, actually. Mwah. Oh, that's actually great. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna delete this, actually. Okay. So with Arthur on top, I am going to put the background overlay on top, obviously, but I think, like, the background overlay is going to be more so a, actually, bring it back. Can I have it back? Oh, wait, no, it's just down here. It's for the Ambrose piece, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put this here. Oh, it's the wrong piece. Whoops, I'm just dumb. I'm so sorry. Here, I'm gonna just collect this. Sorry if I'm messing so much with this. This would be on top right here. This, but we're gonna cover this up for now. And I don't know what you're doing here. You're supposed to be in here. Okay. Okay. Dylan says, hey, I'm back. My YouTube was bugging because of an extension. All solved now. Honestly, it's extensions are like a blessing and a curse. Like, on one hand, they're so helpful and so convenient, but on the other hand, they always have, like, that one problem that just ruins the fun for everything. Like, I had this ad blocker, that on one hand was very nice and very convenient. On the other hand, sometimes it would bug out where the ad would play, and I wouldn't have an option to skip, and the only way to remove the ad was to refresh the entire page. Or even worse, when I'm on a fandom wiki, and with every other page I go to, I just get the pop-up like, it seems like you have an ad blocker. And at that point, I'm just like, at this point, I'll just remove it. But okay. Getting distracted. Stop it. Alright, so for this, I'm gonna duplicate this. It'll make sense. Okay, so for Arthur, actually, I'm going to put I know I'm putting so many layers on Artie, and he really doesn't need any more layers. Actually, speaking of that, I forgot a little shine in his eyes. I literally forgot about that. Oh, wait, no, that's over his eyes. Now, usually I put the shine over here, But I think it's just better for the audience if the shine was over here, actually. So, move it here. Let me just... No. Like, move it. Okay. And I almost always put, like, an ad here. I'll put it like a 65. Actually, that does not look good. Maybe just like a normal one looks fine, actually. Forget the blending mode. Okay. But the reason why I was gonna put this, do I have the... Yes, I do. Let me make it like a little bit more lighter. Get an airbrush. I don't usually use airbrushes, but... Can I have a softer one, please? Fine enough, I guess. I am not a fan of Procreate's airbrushes. Oh gosh, I am not a fan of how they work. Okay, and this is going to actually be... You can keep an overlay with this one. I'm just gonna see how they fare. Okay. I just don't like how it looks on the face. I really don't. I genuinely think it looks terrible on the face. I genuinely think it does. Dylan says, I love how different artists seem to have their own art style. It's so pretty at the same time, so unique each one. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the coolest things about art. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, how do you develop your own art style? How do I make my own art style? And my answer to that is literally don't stress about it. Because no matter what you do, your style will always come. Your style will always develop. Because at the end of the day, what a style is a combination of your inspirations, right? I mean, this is gonna sound like a weird example, not drawing related, but music related. Epic the Musical, just hear me out. With Epic the Musical, the creator of it, Jorge, has talked a lot about what his inspirations are, and the reason why it sounds so unique among other musicals is because, although obviously musical theater is a big inspiration of his, like no duh, it's a musical, he also has inspiration from video games and anime, and more importantly, like music of that. And so some of his songs, especially when they're fighting like monsters, some of the songs he takes a much more video game approach than he does like a musical approach. 'Cause I don't know what kind of song you would play with like a musical, like if it was full on a musical, like, I don't know, like Be Prepared from The Lion King beats me. But Jorge had the idea of like, no, we're going to have like the instruments kick in and the music just shut off on my end. Hold on a second. Like, we're going to have, like, the music ramp up and kick in, and we're going to add, like, these choir notes, and it just sounds like you encountered, like, a boss, and the red health bar just appears, and it has, like, the title, like, that kind of stuff. And the background music, for instance, with, like, when they meet Poseidon, the background music is literally, like, Poseidon, Poseidon, and, like, And it's so unique. It's so unique amongst musicals because that wasn't inspired by a musical. That was inspired by video games. And some other songs have a very strong, like, anime feel to them. Like, they feel more like anime soundtracks than they do traditional musical theater. And so because of that, Epic ends up sounding extremely unique amongst its genre. And I say it's the same thing with, like, drawing, with, like, or with all of art, but in this case, drawing, where I don't think Jorge was sitting there at night. I mean, maybe he was, I don't know. But I kind of doubt that he was sitting there being like, how do I make my music my own? I mean, there was probably a little bit of that, but I do think that a big part of it was just, I want to incorporate things that I like, and I like video games, so I want my music to sound like video game music. You know? I think that's kind of how it went. I'm so sorry that I missed this. PB, I read that all wrong. BP's Fave Blink sends, do you like my icon? It looks like a picture of a guy. Dylan says, you like musicals? I wouldn't consider myself like a musical, like musical theater, like theater kid. I wouldn't consider myself that, but I do like the art form. I think it's really fun, and I do find it a shame that some people don't like it. Please tell me, have you seen Heathers or Mean Girls or Beetlejuice? I have listened to all of Heathers. Personally, I like the Heathers movie a little bit more. I've never seen the Mean Girls musical, nor have I seen Beetlejuice. I've actually only listened to one song from Beetlejuice, and it was the one that was blowing up on TikTok. I'm sorry if I just realized I haven't been, like, working. For Mean Girls, I've never even seen the movie. And I want to. I made all of my close friends watch Heathers, and I reference it a lot. Personally, I like the movie a little bit more, but Freeze Your Brain, I listen to that all the time. I don't know why. Because personally, it might be a hot take amongst Heathers fans, but I do think Freeze Your Brain kind of removes the purpose of JD's character. But the song is fun. The song is great, and I listen to it more than I think the average Heathers fan does. Okay. I need to lock in. I don't think I have much to do on his end personally. Yeah, okay. I think I'm just gonna add some final touches. Okay, this one I'm actually properly gonna call render. Although, this render, quote-unquote, is just gonna be, this render, quote-unquote, is just gonna be me adding, like, some finishing touches here and there. It's not gonna be much of a render. If I had to pick my favorite song of Heathers, it would be between I'm Damaged and Meant to Be Yours. Meant to Be Yours is also really good. 17 Reprise is also beautiful. Meant to Be Yours is also pretty good. I like that one. But yeah, that's what I would say. Because I know there's a lot of, like, young artists out there who really worry a lot about making their own art styles, or just making, like, their stuff wholly unique. And I say, the more you express your love for certain things, ironically, the more unique it's going to be, I think. As like the Epic the Musical, example that I gave. So, like, for example, like, my art style, I mean, there's an obvious anime influence. I mean, look at it. There's very obviously an anime influence, but, there's also a little bit of, like, a Western cartooniness to it as well. Like, it's anime, but it's not super anime. There's, like his hair, like, this guy's hair, for example, like, it isn't necessarily anime hair, or at least not traditional anime hair. It's not the ones that people would think of. I am going by, like, a slightly more Western cartoon logic. So, I think my style generally tends to be a little bit more, rounder, I guess, which again would coincide a little bit more to like a Western cartoon, type thing. And I take a lot of inspiration from Studio Ghibli as well, not just in style, I mean, like, also in just like how I draw sometimes as well, and obviously Studio Ghibli has that kind of sort of, like it's anime, but it's not like a stereotypical anime, but for instance, like the mouth shapes, I do take a lot of stereotypical anime, and, I'd say, I mean, I don't know if I would call my style unique per se, but I think like it's identifiable, I guess. Dylan says, Pepper, I know this is so random, but I just noticed that in your art. Why did you made the one slur in the Lorax video smoke? What's your vision on tobacco in general? Okay, my vision on tobacco, it's unhealthy for you. Maybe don't do it. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. But it is a detriment to your health. And you are scientifically better off without it. Okay, but why did I make the Lorax smoke? This is when I show my age here. So, this might come as a shock to you people, but I actually did not grow up. Okay, that's slightly a lie. My first memory of the Lorax that wasn't the books, because my school, they taught us the books first, but my first memory that wasn't the books was the original 1972 short film created by Dr. Seuss himself. Because when I was in elementary school, the Lorax movie didn't exist. The original short film that Dr. Seuss made was the only animated Lorax thing that existed. And so, after we read the books, we watched this mini movie. And because of that has been my Lorax. Like, I think I was probably in the 5th grade when the actual, like, Lorax movie, the Illumination film, came out. I was in the 5th grade. And, I'm just, like, looking around seeing what I could, shade in. Yeah, I was in the 5th grade, and, but because my earliest, like, the first animated Lorax thing I ever watched, that was my Lorax. That was the Lorax I would think of when I think about the Lorax. And even today, I consider it, like, the true version of it. A big part of that is because it was written and overseen by Dr. Seuss, so this is the closest animated thing we're going to get of Dr. Seuss's vision of an animated project. And in that short film, the Onceler smoked. A lot. He smoked a lot. I'm pretty sure in, like, every other scene he appeared in, he had a cigar. So for me, because that was, like, the definitive Lorax, because for me, that was, like, when I thought the Onceler, I thought of this faceless green man who always smoked, it just always stayed. And, for the Illumination film, I completely understand why they don't make him smoke, because it's a kid's movie, even though the original short was also a kid's movie, but, like, whatever. They didn't make him smoke for my version? ? When I was, when I, like, conceptualized my biggering animatic, I was like, oh, okay, how I saw it is, like, this animatic is going to be what I always wanted out of the Lorax movie, right? That was kind of like my intention. And one thing that I always wanted out of the big movie was for the Onceler to smoke, because, like I said, that was the one trait about him that always stuck in my mind ever since I was, like, 6. So, yeah, that's why. Basically, it's me trying to preserve, I don't like how that looked. It's basically me trying to preserve a little bit of that original that original short. Because like kids these days don't grow up with the original short. They grow up with the movie now. But I did. So, yeah. Come on. Nope, did not like how that looked. I don't know how much I want to put on here. Maybe not much. Okay. Add a bit of stuff down here. Even though you can't really see it very well. I'm gonna add a little bit of it anyway. As a smoker trying to quit, don't do it. I saw many friends of mine do the going through the same hill as me. I've been doing it for years. No regrets, but like not worth it. Not worth it on cash. Meaning, I can imagine that it adds up over time. Yeah. I'm just not really into personally for me. I'm just not really into, I guess, putting chemicals in my body. Especially stuff that, like, you know, objectively is not the healthiest. But that's a me thing. Okay. For the bangs of his hair, I'm trying to think of... Actually, okay. Something here. Yes. And... Actually, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. I like where I was going with that. Then here could be... Okay. Gonna put the last little like hair detail probably over here. All right. Now I'm just gonna delete. Now I'm just gonna erase the ones I think are unnecessary. And this one... Actually, maybe this one was a bit unnecessary, and this one as well. And I think I can fix this one here. right. Add this little piece here. Okay. I think that's gonna be enough for this portion. For the cloak, I don't really have much to do other than maybe maybe just add details that I've already placed in before. Like here, there's a bit of like a curve thingy, so maybe a little bit something like this. And that's extremely dark. Let me lighten it up just a wee bit, cause oh, okay. It's getting a little too dark for my liking, personally. Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. And I don't think I'm gonna put anything here. Like I said, when it comes to like this sort of rendering, because my style is already really simple, the rendering really is just adding in like a detail here and there. It isn't really, it's not like other people with like other art styles that people have where their rendering is the thing that takes up most of their time. For me, it's just kind of like, let me just add, it's kind of like a finishing detail. Well, not finishing detail because I'm not finished with it, but it's an extra detail. And that looks atrocious. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think now I'm just gonna add a little bit of, I don't know what I would call this thing. It's a thing that I've, like, picked up recently, which, okay, that's way too light. Which I feel like sometimes it adds just, like, a little bit of depth, I guess, to the piece, and I just really like how it looks sometimes. And that's way too, because it has to be really subtle, like it's not supposed to be like that noticeable. Okay, and like a little bit here. And for the face, let me just bring back my good old light source, just so I know where this area would be. Dylan says, Pepper, what's your computer setup, by the way? I'm thinking of upgrading my laptop, memory and storage capacity. Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I am not a tech person. I'm not a tech person, at all. I literally just bought myself a laptop that had enough storage for me to play Genshin Impact. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's pretty average. It's literally just an HP laptop. It was around like $1,000. Well, more than 1,000, but I mean like the general range was 1,000. I do not know how much storage it has. I just know that I haven't run out of it yet. That's all I know. It's not like a fancy schmancy gaming laptop or anything, because I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm not the kind of person that really requires all that much storage. I'm very much a, like, I just need a laptop that does the job kind of thing. So, I am not opening my tax manager on stream. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. That's a no-go. We're here to draw. We're here to draw. Okay. So, for the hair, yep. Just gonna see how visible it is. With this one, I'm gonna make it a little bit more easy to see, because it's a little too easy to see. Okay. It wouldn't be super visible anyway, but just to give it a little bit more, I guess, stuff on the hair. Okay. Let me just fill out a little bit of these parts. Okay. Now again, it's just kind of, because I think this one just had too much detail on it, so. Whoops. You know, that's the funny thing with, like, this style of mine, is that because it requires because it's so simple, too much detail can really harm its look, I guess. No. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yokai Monster says, why does this feel familiar? Like, what exactly feels familiar? Did I see you before? A day ago? I don't know. Okay. I think this is too much, and... okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the rendering stage mostly like this. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that, I think. There's not too much for me. Oh, how could I forget? Little white highlights. How could I forget? Oh my goodness. Little white highlights on the metal pieces. How could I forget? Okay. Here and a little bit here. And actually, I don't know if that made any sense. Maybe... like this. And a little thing here. Maybe this could have been, instead of like a pure white, I could add a little bit of a yellow to it. Like still bright, but not this like super harsh. Whoops. No. Okay. Not bad. It's fine. Move the light source. Okay. I think I'm done with like the general render for Artie here. I think I'm done with that. Now, on to Ambrose, this guy. Oh, Zeno says your character's too cute. Thank you so much. Yeah, he's, in this, drawing here, he's a little bit younger than how he normally is, but I am really happy that he's cute. That makes me really happy. I want all of my characters to be cute in one way or another, because that's my thing, that's what I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove Arthur from here, and for Ambrose, for this guy. Okay, so this, because I'm not gonna do any other fancy stuff with him, unfortunately, because I'm using Procreate and not Clip Studio Paint, to do anything more, I'll just have to flatten him a little bit. And I'll just call this one Portrait. I don't know how to spell portrait. Yoikai Monster says, who are they? So these are my interpretations of, I think that actually requires even more context. So I have been working on my own adaptation of the King Arthur legend. And if you're wondering, King Arthur, you mean the one with like Lancelot and the Round Table and Excalibur, Sword in the Stone? Yep, that one. And this is a drawing with, it's a painting I wanted to make, which this is Arthur, of course. This is when he's young. I was thinking this is when he's first crowned king. So he's like 15-ish here. So this is Arthur, first being crowned king, and behind him is a portrait of his uncle. Not his father, because his father was, terrible. It's a portrait of his uncle because in my lore, I forgot medieval lore. Well, it depends on which version you read. Arthur's uncle was a very highly respected king, and in my version, I wanted him to kind of sort of be like this paragon, right? This great king, this great figure that Arthur is like living in the shadow of. Yokai Monster says, I thought Joseph and Jesus. I'm sorry. I kind of thought that, I'm not gonna lie, when I was drawing Ambrose up here. That is unfortunately just what's going to happen whenever you draw a 30-ish-year-old man with long brown hair and a beard. That's just gonna happen, unfortunately. That's just the truth. Even though Jesus did not look like that, but that's how everyone thinks of him as. No. I assure you, they're from the other side of the Mediterranean. They're from the other side of the Mediterranean Sea, with a completely different culture. Zeno says, I was thinking that the boy became a girl, bruh. No, he just kind of has, like, longish hair. Okay. Okay. But, I need to lock in, because I want to see if I can finish the piece this night, because I would love to. That'd be so good. That'd be so cool. Okay, so for this is where I'm going to bring up, where is it? It was here somewhere. Did I remove it? No, it's here. Okay. I'm going to bring this up with these lines, and I'm just going to very quickly find we can keep this. Find a brush that kind of gives me a bit of I think there's a fresco brush here, which fresco is the type of paint that people would use to paint on the walls, back in this time period. So, like, I know there's one that or maybe Or maybe I'm just crazy and it only exists in Clip Studio because I'm going through my Clip Studio paint withdrawals. That's oil paint, gouache. Aha! Fresco! Here it is. Okay, so I want to put a bit of a fresco overlay on top, and also I want to like erase the borders with this fresco kind of texture. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna duplicate this just in case I mess it up because I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Okay, it is in painting, fresco. Ooh, okay, I see. So it's like that. Alright, so it's like that, gotcha. And I also want to add a little bit of wear and tear to this portrait as well, because I want to show that it's a bit of an older painting. I mean, okay, when I say older, I don't mean like it's ancient. It's a portrait of Arthur's uncle. It's not that old. But what I mean is that it's a portrait that's kind of sort of been not really taken care of for a long time. And so thanks to stuff like humidity and stuff, it's just slowly going to chip away and just like fade away a little bit. I do imagine though when Arthur like takes like shortly after he becomes king, he puts measures to like preserve the painting a little bit more. Orders for people to take care of it better because it hasn't been. Okay. Alright. I got that. And so I'm gonna put a little bit of a overlay with this fresco brush on top. Let me just put the brush back to this old one. Okay. Actually, maybe I can make it the same color as the walls. The same color as the wall. Actually, no, I don't think that would look good. Hold on a quick second. I'm thinking. I had a thunk. I had a bit of a thunk right now. A bit of thought. Okay. Okay, there's definitely a bit of like a noise effect on top. All right. Sorry, I'm just looking at oh, Prevnav37 says hi. I love your drawing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay. Right now I'm looking at, well, you can't see it because it's on my phone, but I'm looking at a quick reference of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. Because that is actually a fresco painting that has experienced a lot of wear and tear over the years. A lot of people, when they imagine The Last Supper, they're thinking like a portrait, you know, like a painting on a frame that's like nice and cleaned up. But the actual real life painting is unfortunately kind of in a bit of disrepair because it's just kind of been left there for a really long time. And of course people now are trying like their best to like preserve it. But there is signs of it being like, it's a little bit worn. It's a little bit worn, it's a little bit cracked in some areas. So, okay. Sorry, I was just trying to think of like, yeah, we can add, I don't know if I want to add like a blue. Maybe I will add like a brown, like a dark brown, maybe like desaturated. Just so I could put like this overlay on top. Wrong one. And I think that brush is going to be too big. Or maybe like a circle. Okay, I'm gonna put that on a multiply. Ooh, look at that. It already looks like, already. 40? Ooh, okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I do fear that it's, my issue is that it's too light. Maybe a darken? I think I might go with a darken because, although the multiply looks amazing, this isn't like the thing that's supposed to draw your eye, unfortunately. Screen makes it whereas color dodge, you can barely see it. Overlay makes it too dark. The lighting modes obviously don't make any sense. Difference ain't bad, but again, it's just too dark. That's too light. Yeah, okay, I think we're gonna put it on a darken. Yeah, darken 40, because as I mentioned before, this is not, like, it's an important shot, but, like, he's kind of supposed to be a bit in the background. A little bit in the background. So, yeah, okay. So we got that. We have this, and I think this is where I want to, like, add little pieces of it fading a little bit, just a little bit into the background. So, do I have the fresco back? Yes. I'm gonna, like, lower the opacity a little bit. And show some areas where it's a little fallen into disrepair a wee bit. Let me just redo that. I did not like how that looked. Oh, definitely his face. For some reason, when it comes to old-timey, like, medieval paintings, it's always the face that is, like, messed up the most. I'm going to assume it's because people keep touching the face area. Especially since these are paintings on walls. I'm going to assume that's what's happening, is that too many people are, like, touching the face area. And so because of that, the faces always end up being, like, the most, messed up parts. Maybe, like, here. Some areas here. And actually, because of that, I think I'm gonna lift this up a little bit more. Or maybe I could do the opposite, actually. See, it's the funny thing about these kinds of things, these kinds of, like, overlay thingies on top. A big part of this is just, like, trial and error. It's just me trying to figure out what I'm even doing. No. Too big. I actually really like how that turned out. What the heck? No, actually, that looks incredible. That actually looks so good. Deadass? No, seriously. Okay. And of course, lower the opacity a little bit. Because you still want to see his face. I just want to make it clear that, like, the face area is, like, all messed up. And maybe, like, where, like, the brooch... Not the brooch. Nah. I need a more random area. Maybe, like, here where his, like, clothing is... And, ooh, okay, that's actually super cool. That's actually super, super cool. And a little bit more, I do want to add a little bit more, like, on the edges. A little bit of fading on the edges, almost like like a bit of a vignette sort of thing. Let me just, okay. Now, obviously, with this... What the... Gonna... Because I love how that looks. I just don't know how much I want to put in here. I think I'll have to mess around with it a little later. Okay. So we have that. We have the wall, obviously. I'm going to put it on top of the Ambrose thing. And this can go to the bottom because I already figured that out. And then finally... put the multiply, and now I'm going to have to match it up with Arthur. Match it up with his. I forgot how much was his? 39. Gotcha. Put it down to a 39. Wait, it's down to a 39. I think this one I'll have to increase it. I think a 50. Okay. I think it needs to be darker. Okay, okay. 60 is not that bad. And this is when I'm going to tweak a little bit of... Actually, that still looks really good. I love how that looks. Okay. I love how that first pass went. It's... okay. So I have that. Okay. Finally. I'm just gonna call it blue. Finally! I'm going to add, like, the final touches with Arthur. So, on top of everything... I do way too many layers for something so simple. So, if I remember correctly, I think it was luminosity that gave me... Nope, was it color? Yes, it was. Okay. I'm just checking the values, seeing how everything looks. Okay, Arthur is the darkest, which is good, because he is the focus. I do think Ambrose is just a little bit too dark. Just a little bit. And just a little bit lopsided as well, so I'm just gonna turn him just a little bit. So that he doesn't look super lopsided. I wonder if there's any way I can... Because he just feels just a little bit too... Okay. I need to remind myself, like, it's not done. The painting is not done. We're almost done, but it's not done. Not yet. So... we're going to add, let me just, get the Arthur boy, get my boy, and put, the little lighting effects that I always wanted him to have. He feels he feels too light for me, actually, surprisingly. So I'm gonna darken him a little bit more. Maybe I also go up to 60. Oh, okay. Okay, that actually looks great. Okay, we're gonna keep it like that. That actually looks so much better than I thought it would. Okay. Flatten it out. Alright. And... hold on a sec. Okay. I was gonna add, like, the little... Wait a second. Oh, that's why. Okay, I was like, why does it look so weird? Now I remember it's because I darkened it out. The render needs to be darkened out as well. There's, yeah, adjustments. Whoa, not that much. How do people do this? Or with color balance? Nope, I have no idea how to use that. Gradient map curves? Is that it? Okay. No, we're good. No. Oh, God. Oh, was it done? Was it done? I think it was. Yes, okay. Okay. Now it doesn't look as bad. I was like, hold on a second, something looks wrong. But we're good now. Okay, so these I like to consider like the final steps, so to say, of my pieces, where I call it compositing because it's literally just me adding like the final little lighting effects to make it like fit, I guess. So because the light source is shining through this side of the window, actually let me just straight up do that. This bright light source shining down. Lower the opacity. Kinda nice. Actually, I think an airbrush might actually be better for this. Funny enough. Whoa. Okay. And with a few rays, let me just make them a bit thinner. A few rays, and just gonna overlay or soft light. I think the soft light is no. I think I'm gonna go with an overlay, but of course not. It's a bit strong, so we're gonna tone it down, maybe like a 50. And did the music just shut off? Oh, wait, there's lag. Whoops. I apologize. I'm sorry. I forgot that there's lag sometimes. Just waiting for it to... Okay, because I think the music ended. Indeed it did. Okay. Maybe it's a little too powerful, actually. Maybe like to a 20? Okay, not bad. It's not bad. I would like it to show a little more on the walls. Or actually, okay. Actually, no, hold up. I just had a thought. I know that I keep going back to this. This is normal for me. It's always like a trial and error. Sometimes I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Let me just lower this to a good, wait, where's the line? There it is. How would an overlay look? How would a line on an overlay look? Nah, looks the same. I usually just default to, although I think normal would have no difference, actually, now that I think about it. There's no reason for me to change it. I'm gonna put it at a 70, I guess. Or maybe I put this at like a brown. I I changed it to a brown. A really dark brown, of course, but a brown nonetheless. Okay, not bad. And down here, I guess 90 would work. Okay. Alright. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something else. Trying to remember what it was. Oh, yeah. Cause, like, I was thinking, okay, it could, maybe, like, the light could come, like, behind and also on top of Arthur. I think that would be really cool, actually. Like, when I'm thinking about it. So, get back this soft brush. Where's that ugly little light source? Oh, too big. And some rays, as I mentioned. And this would obviously be below Arthur, of course. It'd be below. Overlay or soft light? I'd go for an overlay. And it's a bit bright, so we're gonna lower it. Maybe at 60 as well. And then, whoops. And then for this, maybe, hold up. Again, like, when it comes to these, like, final touches, this is the thing that I always tend to, struggle with the most. This is the real trial and error for me. This is the part where it really is. I'm sorry if it's frustrating, if I'm constantly going back and forth, but this is the part of the process where it is just me trying things out over and over and over again. So, yeah. It's definitely up here, down here. Like this. And below, this would actually have a clipping mask. Could have the little bit of, like, blue light coming from the bottom to up here. A little bit over here. Diadem is. This one, I think I'm gonna put it like it's a very subtle soft light. And this, of course, overlay or soft light. No, it's definitely gonna be an overlay, but it's not gonna be a very strong overlay. It's definitely maybe like a 20, I guess. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go back to the fresco brush because I feel like these edges are a little bit too clean. I don't really like how clean they are now. Yeah, they're a little too clean for me. Oh boy, okay. Sorry. Sorry for the flashbang. Okay. Okay, I'm just checking the values one more time. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Something about it that I'm just not liking. And I'm not sure if I know what it is. Maybe it's just not dark enough for me. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. Or maybe this is just too bright. I think this might just be too bright. It's not fitting with the darkness with the rest of the scene. I'm just gonna lower it maybe. Maybe like a 30. Would that be better? I'm still thinking. Like, something just feels off, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the rest of the background. Maybe it just feels too normal. That might be it, honestly. It might be the fact that like the rest of the background just doesn't have anything like more to it. That might be it. Okay. Because, like, I think what it is the juxtaposition that there's so much texture here, there's so many brush strokes here, but there's just nothing in the background. I think that's what's it. I think that's what's messing with me. Is there anything for, like, a wall? Anything with plaster? What's the texture of plaster? I don't know what that is. How does this look? Oh, I can't see. Oh, there we go. That looks like canvas. That wouldn't work. What's Spectra? Okay, that looks a bit like a watercolor thing, though. That's not bad, but again, it just looks really watercolory. What's down here? Hey, yo, what is it? Procreate team. Mind creating a plaster texture? Mind creating a plaster texture for your, as a brush? Okay, that's not bad, but that looks too cloudy. What's this? That looks like a carpet. Looks like a carpet. This? Okay, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. That ain't bad. The sagnet looks fine. I'm just seeing if anything else. Nope. That does not look good. Okay. We're going with the sagnet. That's probably the best I'm gonna get for, like, a texture. Gonna... What the hell? Oh, that's why. Okay. Put that in there, and then lower it, because again, I'm just trying to add like a moniker texture in the surrounding area. And actually, I think I'm gonna remove this and why is this so hard? Wrong one. What the heck? Why aren't you letting me go down? What? That's weird. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. How's that look? Not bad. Not bad. I think the thing that's messing with me is because I think this helps. This right here definitely helps. I think the portrait is just too I'm sorry for the flashbang. I think my problem is I think it's just too present. I think that's it. Like I don't know if that's making any sense, but hold on a sec. Put this on top. We get the, I guess it would make it look more faded. Put on the thing. And then, because here, I think my issue is that the portrait is just too, it's too bright. I mean, too bright, it's too dark. So then we're just gonna put it maybe here? Would that look better? I mean, it already looks better in the, it already looks better, like, portrait-wise. Okay. Okay. Now I think it's a little too bright. I mean, too faded. I mean, it's supposed to look faded. Let me just lower it down. Maybe like a 10. Okay. 10 doesn't look too bad. What if I add some rays? Just add some classic rays. No textures. Just my good old brush. Where's my light source? I had it here. Did I delete it? No way. Oh my god, I think I deleted my light source. No! Cause maybe I just need some god rays. I don't know. Is that it? Is that what I was missing? A couple of rays here and there? Sorry, I'm just really trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do this. I don't know. I just feel like something, it's missing something. And I don't know what it is. But I feel like I'm missing something. Or maybe... Oh my god, I had an idea. I literally had an idea, like, just now. Whoops, sorry. I literally just had an idea at this very second. I don't know if this is I don't know if it's gonna make any sort of sense whatsoever. So you know when there's, like, sometimes a ray of light that goes like... A ray of light that goes like this on a wall, right? Well, although technically I would be more so like this, actually. Just Cobalt says, yo, how are we doing? I was doing good, and now I am struggling to add the final touches on this piece, because I'm not done, but like, sorta, with this piece, and I'm just trying to add these final, like, lighting touches that I am struggling. I'm struggling here. Or would this harsher brush be better? So, Just Cobalt says, so real, but that's awesome. The God Rays gonna look so good. I am trying my best I'm trying my best to make, I cannot talk. I'm trying my best to make them look good. Because they're cool, okay? Okay, that does not look good. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. That looks fine. That looks fine. Just gonna fix this part a little bit. I don't know if that looks good without him. Okay. I was gonna say, oh, that looks pretty good, but then I was like, no, it looks curved. Just remove him from the get-go. Oh my god, do I have something? Do I have something? Finally? Finally? Oh my gosh! Okay, 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 okay. I have something, I have something. I have something. It would be flipped, actually, because that doesn't make sense with the light source, but it's fine. Flipped. Okay, okay. Not bad. The window I do imagine to be a little bit lower, so maybe like here for where the window, because there's supposed to be like a window later. Alright. Just Cobalt says, I just got out of my welding class, so I'm tired. So watching you draw is relaxing. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Okay, not bad at all. And put it over. Ooh, y'all. Okay. And what if there's like a thinner, like a thinner strip here? Or does that look dumb? Does that look dumber? we're gonna leave it like this for now, and then put it on top of. Let's remove this. Okay, cut this off. Put it here. And, okay, remove this for now. And then... No. And then this would be up. Maybe like over his nose. Okay, that's not... Or would it be down? Actually, it would be down because the window would be shining down on him. Right? That's how it works, right? Is that... Okay, actually, maybe it's not gonna be as good as I thought it was going to be. Ugh, I hate art. Why did I think this was a good career path? No, but see, because now he looks too lit. Okay, Just Cobalt says, you can make it look like the light is coming from a textured window, like a cross window. No, see, that's smart, right? But, Mm. See, because now that I have it like this, now it's just like... Put it like down here. How would that look? No, it doesn't make any sense. It would be on his face. Unless... Okay. Hope is not completely lost. I think my biggest issue is... See, if I put it like this, that actually looks kind of... That looks kind of dope. I think my biggest problem is the fact that it's the lighting on his face. Maybe if I removed the lighting on his face... Ugh. I think that's what's tripping me. It's the lighting on his face. If I remove it, I think most of my problems are gonna be gone. Just... Okay. 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 Okay, not bad, not bad, and the music just shut off. Thank you. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. It's fine. We're doing fine, guys. We're doing fine. I think this actually low-key got better. I think what was tripping me really was just the lighting in the face. That was the thing that was messing with me, probably. Okay, we can remove this. Cause like in black and white, it looks pretty tight. It looks pretty tight in black and white. And what if I like extend it so that it covers? Whoops. So that it covers all the way up to the top of his head if it's gonna allow me to. If it's going to allow me to. Oh, okay, that's what it does. No, just go up. Just go up! Why doesn't it go up? And you know what? This can also be extended just a bit more. Okay. Alright. It's improved tenfold. Literally. I think that's what it was messing me up. Just Cobalt also says, actually wait, you should make a noir series of characters. That would sound super, super fun. Unfortunately, I am swamped with my current projects, but that would be really fun. Maybe for a future project when I when I finish it out there in the far, far future. Okay, I think I got something good. Honestly, values look pretty tight. I think I got something, guys. I think I got something. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna add my signature. And I guess then after that, I don't know what else I could put. I think I'm like done. I think I'm done with this Loki. I think my biggest... I think I should center out the Ambrose portrait a bit more. How do I select two? There's a way I can select two. No, that's not how it was. No, go back. There's a way I can select two. I do not know how people do. Hold on a second. Nope, that's not how you do it. Nope, that's not how you do it. That is... How do people do this? If you wanted if you wanted to spend more time, you can make it look like a painted window. No, see, I could, and historically that would actually be more accurate because little historical fun fact for you people, but back in the medieval times, stained glass was actually easier to make than pure like clear glass. And I know that sounds really weird because it's like, wait, wouldn't staining the glass be more difficult? No, actually, I mean, painting the glass was easier than polishing the glass to make it look crystal clear. Like, if you really think about it, if you think about it for a second, staining the glass, which isn't that clear, it's not really that clear, would be easier than pure clear glass. Actually makes a lot of sense. So, historically, that would actually make more sense. Unfortunately, the lighting effect that I just spent like 30 minutes on angered me enough that I'm not gonna do that. Let's say it's an open window. It's an open window. Let's go with that. History with Peppermint goes hard. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. That's me every time I'm going to be doing King Arthur stuff, Robin Hood stuff. I'm just gonna like drop in some of my old medieval history that I have collected over the years. I need to watch a YouTube tutorial as to how to select multiple layers. Oh, is that it? Is that how you do it? Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's go with that one too. Yeah, I just want to center this a little bit more. And maybe I move this just a little bit higher. War of the Roses history lesson with Peppermint. That would be really fun. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about the Tudor era, unfortunately. Because most of my historical knowledge is either like around the world wars, because my father and my brother happen to be World War I and II nerds. But for me personally, because of the Robin Hood and King Arthur stories, I more know about that time period, which, contrary to popular belief, is pretty early in the medieval times. I say this pretty much all the time. I'm getting so distracted. I need to write my signature. I say this pretty much all the time whenever I mention this type of stuff. So, for example, this crown that Arthur is wearing, this is not Miss Twister says, wow, I can't believe it, I made it to one of these. Well, here we are. Unfortunately, the stream ain't going to last that long because I basically finished the piece. But you can chill as I wrap it up, question mark? Whoa. I, like, completely lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. I say this basically every single time I, like, talk about the King Arthur thing. So, like, this crown he's wearing, for example, medieval nerd in a 1900s house. Yes. This crown that he's wearing right here, it's not a stereotypical medieval crown. You know, the stereotypical medieval crowns are the ones that kind of look like this, or even like a little bit later in the time periods where the crowns kind of look like this. This is a little bit later in time. In the King Arthur era, people say it's medieval, and it is medieval, but it's more, just get ready, it's more specifically the post-Roman era, because the King Arthur stories take place around the 500s to 600s, right? And the Roman Empire roughly fell, well, in Britain, fell around the 400s. Are y'all understanding me? Y'all understanding me? And so, because it's the post-Roman era, a lot of Roman stuff is still around. And Roman crowns, well, everybody thinks of like these kinds of crowns, the laurels, I don't know how to spell them. Hold up a second. these kinds of crowns. Everybody thinks of these kinds of crowns, which is true, that is what they wore. But later in the Roman period, it was more likely that they basically wore, like, rings around their heads. Like, there would be, I'm going crazy right now. Like, imagine here's, like, a dude. The crown would be this ring around the head. It's called a diadem. And so, because Arthur is a king in the post-Roman era, the Roman influence would still be there. So instead of wearing a stereotypical crown, he's wearing a diadem. That's what they're called, diadems. Okay. What is it? Just Colbot says, type of crown my boy Rob Stark had. Rip my king of the north. Teku says, oh boy, I missed the history lesson. And Miss Twister said, right around the Dark Age, before the Viking conquest, I think. Yes, this is before the Viking conquests. The Viking conquest happened sometime before the Norman conquest, which the Norman conquest was in 1066. Which 1066, you can't freaking see it. 1066, which if you realize is way later than the 5 to 600s. What I'm trying to say here is that, like, with every other King Arthur adaptation that I see, it takes place in what historians consider the High Middle Ages, which is around, like, the 13 or the 1400s. It's like the stereotypical medieval times that most people think of, which has, like, the stereotypical crown. This is early, which is why it is the medieval times, but it's still very Roman. Okay, that's enough history lesson for y'all. Oh yeah, one last thing. Robin Hood. Well, Robin Hood doesn't have a defined time period, but because most people put Robin Hood around the time of King Richard I, that is like the 1190s. Yeah, that is the 1190s, more or less. Which, again, because the stereotypical medieval times people think of is like 1400s, the 1190s, that's still pretty back. Like, I'm pretty sure King Richard's grandfather, I don't think was Norman the Conqueror. Although, Norman, what am I talking about? William. I don't think it was William the Conqueror. Oh, but it might have been. The Norman conquest basically just happened, is what I'm trying to say. Like, by Robin Hood's time, the Norman conquest essentially just happened. So there was a lot of tension between the Anglo-Saxons and the Normans, because the Normans were a different group of people. And the Vikings too. There was a lot of, like, ethnic stuff going, like, ethnic conflicts going on in Robin Hood's time, or at least, like, the time period that most people equate him to. Which knights in shining armor still was not a thing. Actually, the knights in shining armor, the stereotypical knight in shining armor, is more so of a Renaissance thing. Like, the proper Middle Ages didn't have that. I mean, they had metal armor, yeah, but it was like chainmail. But yeah. Just Cobalt says, not gonna lie, I kind of mess with the post-Roman crowns as opposed to the classic funny ones. I do too. I don't know. They just look cooler in a way that I don't understand how. They just do. Yeah. Miss Twister says 1066 to 100 Years War, way after Arthur's time. It's way after. It's not even like proper England in the way that we think of. It's Britannia. Like, by Arthur's time, Britain was more like a collection of small kingdoms that fought each other, but they also united against the Anglo-Saxons. It was England in the Middle Ages was a breeding ground for political conflicts and invasions. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Miss Twister says, Oh, wait. Just Cobalt says, Robin Hood was a 90s kid? Makes sense. He kind of was if you think about it. Well, I mean, if we're talking about childhood, I'd say probably like 70s and 80s, but like his prime. Yeah, that was like the 90s. So thanks for the history lesson. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I almost forgot that I'm supposed to be like ending this stream or something. Yeah. Just Cobalt says, yeah, the postmodern crowns work best for boy kings. In my opinion, they go so hard. They do. Okay, and I think I'm gonna put my signature maybe like here. What is that sketch? Whoops. Did I accidentally leave a sketch? I think I might have. Gotta put it here. Put a nice... and 80's fine. Maybe just a bit smaller. There's some sketch layer underneath that I haven't turned off. Right? Or am I crazy? Oh, it's the Arthur layer. No wonder. No wonder. Okay. Time to... What the hell? Wait, this doesn't have it, but this does. Why does this have it? Ugh, whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Does he look the same? Okay. Hold up. Let me fix him. Let me fix the boy. What the hell? What is this? Is this from here? No, is this from here? I mean, no one can see it. No one sees it. Shh. No one can see it. Okay, I'm just gonna name this final one. I always name it sign. Name your layers, kids. Trust me, it looks tedious, but it actually is so incredibly helpful. Like, it keeps you so much it keeps you organized. Alright. I think I might be done. I'll like lower this to like an 80 because I think it's just like the slightest bit too strong. Still looks good. I'm just making like final. Maybe like a 12. Okay. I think I might be done. All right. That's great. That's great. Great for me. Absolutely great for me. Yeah. Miss Twister says, there was Wessex, excess, sexist. Weird names, lol. Yeah, the, Wessex, excess, and Sussex. So the sex part originates from Saxon. That's like Sax. Like Saxon stuff, right? So Wessex is West Saxony, Essex is East Saxony, Sussex is South Saxony. You can follow me? Yeah. Daneline Mercia. I know Mercia is, I think, Angle. Yeah. I knew about these kingdoms in the English territory. Yeah, those are the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Meanwhile, with King Arthur, that is British kingdoms, Brittonic kingdoms, as in like the Brittonic people that stayed after stayed. What am I talking about? They were always there. The Brittonic people that were invaded by the Romans and then invaded by literally everybody else. But the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, of course, are just way more known because they had a bit more influence. Yeah. Alright, Tekko says, I forgot. Alright, and Just Cobalt says, good point on that note. I'm gonna get some sleep. Good night, chat. And Peppermint, great history and art stream. You're welcome. Okay, it's like 10:30 in my time zone. It's getting pretty late. I am honestly pretty happy with this piece for now. It turned out way better than I thought it would be, especially halfway through. I was like, y'all, I don't know. Because that's the thing that I always have. I always have that with my art pieces. And it's like, Trust the process. Trust the process. It's a real thing, guys. It's a real thing. But I think that, I think that just might be it for this stream. This was really fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun here too. Like I said, these drawing streams, we're here to chill. We're here to vibe. We're here to ramble. And when I'm doing my own original work, I guess we're here to learn about some medieval history. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have that much, more to say. So for next week, I did say that for this week, I wanted to do a drawing stream, which we did. And for next week, I think I'm going to start Not Cry in Genshin Impact because, I'm a bit behind, and it was intentional. I did on purpose delayed like Not Cry for a while because I just wanted to do some drawing streams again. I just wanted to do that again. But yeah, we're going right back into Not Cry next stream, and yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I guess my streams have been going. That like do some Genshin stuff, like see if I want to like do something in Genshin, do some of that, complete some like story and stuff, and either take a break from Genshin to do some drawing streams, or when, you know, Genshin's in a bit of a hiatus, do some drawing streams. Because like at the end of the day, that's what my channel is about. It's about art, it's about animation, that kind of good stuff. And then very, 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 very occasionally like a Sims stream. I like started my Sims series, and then it just kind of lingered there, but I still have the save file. Okay, but I think that's actually for real. Like, I think that's it. I think we're done. Miss Twister says, I'm mainly strong about the 18th to 21st centuries in history. Took about 1.5 years to learn about it, so I understand a little bit about this topic. Hey, I mean, we all have like those specific moments in history where like we're like really, really into, you know. For me, funny enough, is like the medieval times. 'Cause it's just so cool to see how like, I don't know, like how life was back then, you know? Because like this isn't like a fantasy novel or anything. Like these were real people with real lives, and it's just fascinating. So yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I hope y'all, yeah, I hope y'all liked the stream, and yeah. Till next time, I guess. Let's go back to the infinite void. Till next time, I guess, guys. Bye!